Over the years, the OPPO Reno series has been building its reputation for being the portrait expert. It does this by offering high-quality cameras that produce great detail, natural colors, and of course, a soft background blur, all of which are characteristics of a great portrait. And with the technology we have these days, specifically those telephoto lenses with optical zoom, I really think there's no better time to be a portrait expert than right now. But just how much of an expert is the portrait expert? I was pretty curious, and I guess I'm taking you guys with me to find out. Before we get to those portrait tests, let's first get to know our shooter. We of course have the OPPO Reno11 Pro 5G since it does have some exclusive photography features. Counting megapixels first, for its main, the Reno11 Pro offers a 50 megapixel camera with optical image stabilization. For those portrait shots, we have a 32 megapixel telephoto with a 2x optical zoom and a 5x in-sensor zoom. With the improved portrait expert engine, we have OPPO's flagship hypertone imaging algorithm in play, which utilizes AI to decrease noise, increase clarity, and improve color. It also boosts dynamic range for capturing a wider range of tones and is able to identify scenes and subjects for optimal post-processing. So first things first, we are going to be testing the Reno11 Pro right here in a traditional portrait or a traditional studio setup. Now, why do this? Why shoot in a controlled lighting setup? Well, I personally believe that if you call your phones professional or pro grade or expert or anything like that, they should be able to do very well in this kind of setup. Why? Because you have all the lights you need. You can direct, you can control, you can increase, decrease, basically build an environment that's perfect for taking photos. And in this case, for taking portrait photos. For this set, I exclusively use the pro-grade portrait mode because 1, it processes photos differently. Compared to your basic photo mode, it's more toned down, more natural. And 2, I wanted the option to change the strength of the blur later on. In recreating the look of a classic portrait, the Reno11 Pro puts its best foot forward. You get all the essential elements. Facial details are clear and focused, skin tones are preserved and cleaned while remaining textured. Bokeh is also very natural once properly adjusted and gives the photo good depth. In low-key lighting, the Reno11 Pro is still highly capable of bringing out those small details and nuances. Noise is also kept to a minimum thanks to AI working in the background. However, in more extreme lighting, it does have a hard time balancing as the shadows get crushed in post-processing. Overall though, I liked shooting portraits with the Reno11 Pro and was very satisfied with the results. My only complaint really is that it doesn't offer RAW files. The photos still hold well if you want to edit, but it's a missed opportunity in my opinion, especially in a more professional workflow. But of course, not everybody shoots in a studio, so let's go out and test this boy in the real world. In shooting with any smartphone, light is your best friend. So I went to a place with just that and met up with my friend Nicole, who graciously accepted to be my subject. We first had lunch at this cute little sandwich place and then fueled up on caffeine before we started shooting. It's easy enough to claim. Shooting outdoor portraits with the Reno11 Pro is very satisfying. When we shot, the light was still a bit harsh, but you don't really see that in these photos. You get good balance between shadows and highlights. The software was also able to bring back the details of the sky, so it isn't just a washed out mess. Outdoors in busy environments, it was also easier to notice how well the software separates the background from the subject. You get a nice fall off and not just a plain cutout. Even in different lighting conditions and locations, it consistently served beautiful portraits. Outside of portrait photography, it's still easy to say that the OPPO Reno11 Pro is a good shooter. With a versatile camera setup, it makes capturing memories look good. From taking product photos for work, covering events, to documenting the not-so-active life of Mr. Puff, I've found myself reaching for the Reno11 Pro quite a bit. For video, I won't be doing a deep dive. My main focus was really shooting portraits, but let me share my thoughts. It's capable enough for documenting daily snippets of your day, concerts, road trips, you get it. It does go through quite a bit of post-processing, which I'm not a fan of, but that's a personal preference. So after going through all of that, what do I think about the OPPO Reno11 Pro? Well, it's really easy to admit that this device is a portrait expert. It's just really good at taking those kinds of photos. Why? Well, for one, color reproduction. It's able to produce natural looking colors, not at all saturated, which I really like. And second, it really has a great telephoto lens. Even if it maxes out at 2x optical zoom, I find that I can still get good photos at 5x because of that in-sensor zoom. For everything else, it's a versatile shooter, and overall, still a phone I would recommend for those who value and prioritize camera performance and photo quality. The OPPO Reno11 Series 5G, which include the OPPO Reno11 and the OPPO Reno11 Pro, are now both available. For price, promos, and more details, links are in the description. I don't know why, but I really like portrait photography. Maybe because of all the emotion that you can get, or maybe I just like taking pretty pictures. I don't know. I'm thankful that phones like this exist because I get to play around with that genre and try to emulate that look. But what about you guys? What do you like doing with your phones? Because I know not everyone is into mobile photography or even photography in general. Let us know in the comments, talk to us. And of course, if you haven't yet, you know the drill, subscribe to us here at The Modern Creatures. Visit our website and our other social media channels for more news, features, and reviews. Once again, this is Vika. I'll see you in the next video.